Hi guys, we're going to continue where we left off from yesterday. So yesterday we learned the state and the plan for a one sample t interval for mu. And now we're going to just finish that problem off with the do and the conclude. Okay, so here's the deal, just a friendly reminder. Why are we doing a one sample t interval? We're doing a one sample t interval because we want to find out the truth about a population, and we don't know that truth. And there's no way we can find the exact answer for that truth. But what we can do is we can come up with a lower bound and an upper bound, which gives us plausible values for the truth. And then people can make decisions based off of that, like this clothing company. So we're off to the do. But one thing we have to note here is we are given what we call data. Data is a list of numbers. And when you are given data, you have to go ahead and you have to find the statistics for that data first. And what statistics do I want to know? I specifically want to know the mean and the standard deviation. Now, I know not all of you own a graphing calculator, but I can bet on that many of you are going to go on to take college statistics. And you may want to know how to use this graphing calculator, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. And since all of you have a Chromebook at home right now, I'm going to show you how to get that graphing calculator online and use that instead, because it's really going to make your life super easy for this stuff. And I'll show you how to do the t-test as well. Okay, so let's get going. What you're going to do right now, and I'll try to go as slow as possible, is you're going to go to your internet, okay? I'm sorry, your Google or whatever web browser you use. I'm going to go to Google. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit MCA calculator. You may want to split your screen right now if you know how to do that, or you can just watch and you can pause it and practice it as you go as well. Okay, so I do that. I get to my MCA calculator. I hit enter. And I see something called the standalone calculators. By the way, if you want to know how to split your screen, you just take, whoops, I'm so used to splitting it. You take this little gray part here and you drag it over to the corner. And then if you have my video going, you would take that part and drag it over to the other corner, and that's going to split your screen so you could do this at the same time. Okay, and I may, let's see if I can split that too. I did. That's nice. Okay. Can I make it a little bit more split? Okay. So where am I at? Come on. I'm going to take this right here to cover it up. Okay. Move this here. Okay, so I go to standalone calculators. I'm going to hit grades 8 and 11 graphing calculator. So do that now. Pause where needed. I'm going to hit start. I'm going to hit start again. And right here is where you find that graphing calculator, which is so awesome to use. You guys are going to love this. Okay. Now I have all of this data here and I need to find the statistics for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this button right here where it says stat. I'm going to hit enter on edit. Now, if you have your own graphing calculator, you want to make sure that you go up and clear that list if you have stuff in there. So you would scroll up to L1 and hit clear, enter, and it would be cleared. Okay, so clear is right there, enter, and you're good. Now we want to start entering the data. And I think I can pull this in front of it a little bit because I need to make sure I have all of it. Okay, so I'm going to enter the data right now. So the first one I have is 67. Oops, let me make, oh dang it, I just did it. I was on the wrong screen, sorry. Make sure you're on the right screen here. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. 67.8, because that's the first number I see, hit enter. Okay, I'm going to do it again, and I can type on my calculator here, or on my keyboard, and it will go. So 61.9, hit enter, 63.0, and you don't need to add the 0, 53.1, 62.3. I'm going to move this over here because I can't see. Give me a second. Let's see if I can get it. Come on. I had it. Dang it. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry, you guys. Thanks for your patience. Let's put this over there. Okay. And now I want to click back over here so it gets it. So we were at 62.3 and now we're at 59.7. Okay. Now we're at 55.4, 58.9, 60.9, 69.2, 63.7, 68.3. And again, I'm just reading the list right here. I'm at 64.7, hit enter. 65.6, hit enter. 56, I don't need the 0. 57.8, 66, 62.9, 53.6, okay, 65, 55.8, 60.4, 69.3, and 61.7. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just show you something that lots of statisticians use just to get a quick set of statistics, okay? So I'm going to go to Stat. I'm going to arrow over to Calc, and I'm going to go down to one variable stats, which is right there at the beginning, and I'm going to hit Enter. And I'm finding statistics for my list 1. I leave this next one blank, and then I hit Calculate. Okay, so this gives us a ton of statistics, which is awesome. This X bar right there is our mean. The standard deviation is this SX right there. And if you scroll down, that's actually your 5-number summary, which we learned first semester. Okay, so right now for this problem, all I care about is the mean and the standard deviation. So I'm going to quickly just write that down. So the mean is equal to 61.79. So I'm going to round. Now, some people who I'm talking to, they've struggled a little bit with how do you round. So if I'm rounding to the 100th, that's the second decimal place. What I want to do is I want to look at the third. If it's below 5, you keep it. If it's above 5, you would round the next one up. If you have any questions, don't be embarrassed. Just feel free to contact me and I'll help you out with it. No big deal. Okay. So we have our mean at 61.79 and we have our standard deviation at 4.81. And so you can see that right there, right? Because I want to round to this one. This one's about 5 or above. So my second decimal place has to go up. Okay, so we have our mean and our standard deviation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill in everything, right? Oops. So this is how you get your confidence interval. You have to take your mean and you need to get a lower bound and an upper bound, and that's your margin of error right here. So to get that, I'm going to start off and I'm going to write it down. I'm going to use my pen and hopefully it will look okay. So my mean is 61.79. So I'm going to try to write that really nice right now. 61. Oh, that didn't look too nice, did it? But that's okay. Plus or minus my T-star, okay? So remember, we found yesterday how to find that T-star. So that's regarding your degrees of freedom. So I'll just do that right here. Our degrees of freedom are n minus 1. So we have 24 as my sample size. So that means 23 is my degrees of freedom. Okay, now I'm going to go to that chart. I'm going to go to 23, which is there. Let me make this bigger for you. And I believe it was a 95% confidence interval. Let's look just to make sure. Oh, it was 95. Okay, good. So 23 is right here. And 95% we highlighted yesterday in blue. So 23, that's 2.069. So my T-star right here is 2.069. Okay, so I'm going to fill that in for T-star, 2.069. 9, I'm sorry, my cursor, I have such bad handwriting with that, times the standard deviation, which we found up here, 4.81, times the square root of the sample size, and that's 24. So that's the work you have to show me. But now that you know how to use the graphing calculator, here's the best part. Okay, now what we're going to do is you have all of your data in a list. If I go to stat and I arrow over to tests and I go down to the T interval and hit enter, and now it gives us this option, the input. Is it data or is it statistics? And we entered this in as data. So we have our L1 here. That's where our data is. This frequency stays the same. And this is talking about our confidence level, and we want it as a decimal. So since it's a 95% confidence level, we can take 95 and divide it by 100 to get 0.95, or you can know that you move the decimal back 2 to the left. Okay, so I'm opposite, so you go this way. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to hit go down and I'm going to hit calculate. And look at there, it actually gives us that mean and that standard deviation right there. But most importantly, it gives us that interval. So we don't have to actually calculate it on our own. We don't have to do anything by hand and make any mistakes. We're just going to say, hey, our interval right there, our lower bound is 59.76 to round to the nearest hundredth, and our upper bound is 63.822. Oops, and just went 2 decimal places. Okay, so what did that just do? That just took our mean minus the margin of error, which is 59.76, and our mean plus that margin of error, which is 63.82. And now we have an interval with a lower bound and an upper bound that gives us plausible values for the truth about this population. Okay, so lastly, we conclude. Okay, I am 95% confident that the interval from, so we would just write 59.76 in this blank to 63.82 contains the true mean, and this is where we fill in the blank. The story here is about the weight of male runners. Contains the true mean weight of male runners. All right, you guys. So what have we done today? Okay. Oh no, I lost my little timer to stop it. We'll figure it out. Okay, so what have we learned? Yesterday we learned the state and the plan. Today you learned the do and the conclude, and most importantly, how to do that on that graphing calculator, which saves you a ton of time. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are at in your day. And I just need to figure out how to get off of this. Come on. Sorry, guys. Oh, where is it? Stop.